Adventures of Sonic, Episode 23, Grounder the Genius. Oh, it's an episode where he's actually competent, in contrast to the other robots. And I bet it'll all be reversed at the end of the episode anyways, wasting the concept. We start out seeing electricity with Robotnik yelling at a computer about a microchip. It's downloading a program to a microchip. He wants to use the microchip to become 10 times smarter. Why would the genius Robotnik ever think he needs this at all? Wouldn't he think he's already smart enough and not be insecure enough to think he needs this? Will I even notice a difference? If he was really made smarter, he would have scrapped Scratch and Grounder in favor of better robots immediately and then had Sonic killed in his sleep. A Tails doll is put in a mousetrap and it has Tails' voice and has horribly lackluster acting as well, which should have alerted Sonic to it right away since in the universe he's supposed to have horrible acting. Sonic finds dummies of the robots in the mousetrap, is surprised that he was tricked for a change, and he narrowly avoids a bear trap of solid diamond. He lampshades that this plan is way too genius for Eggman. What? He has plenty of... Scratch and Grounder might as well be made of solid diamond, considering that while they do fall apart, it's not like their brains are destroyed. Their brains might as well be made of solid diamond. But I get his point. He lampshades that this plan is way too genius for Eggman, and Grounder is blamed for being too slow, even though he's the fast one among Scratch and Grounder. The bear trap falls on them, and Tails says they should go to a computer nerd they apparently already know. Grounder says Eggman is getting smart because he can see what happened, and he's slapped for it. That made me smile. Eggman plans to use a program to make himself 1,000 times smarter. Again, how insecure is he? Why would he ever think he needs this for a second? A nerd with his shadow on the wall says that his virus hacked the system, and he can download an intelligence booster on a microchip. Robotnik says when he's smarter he'll figure out a use for Grounder. Why does he have to be 1,000 times smarter to get the common sense idea to scrap Grounder or reprogram him? Anyone would think of that from the first episode. The computer isn't able to help because he's turned stupid, at least I assume since he sounds kind of like Grounder now. Is that nerd really called Yacker? Like the Wisp?
That's Yacker. Hi, Yacker.
I hope I'm right so I won't get a pointless correction about it. It's hard to hear the show's dialogue over the sound of my typing, no matter how loud I have it on. Sonic and Tails apparently already know this guy, who can crack any computer. Why introduce this random original character that apparently they knew all along instead of just having Tails be a hacker? He was flying a plane in Sonic 2, don't give me that he wasn't smart yet. Sonic fools Scratch and Grounder with a disguise he shouldn't have, as Grounder handcuffs him and then gets flung away. Sonic runs away and Scratch gets blown up and electrocuted and thrown to the ground, as I think that the way he's being portrayed in the show, he wouldn't be acting any differently if he was made dumber. Suddenly, Grounder puts the genius microchip in his head, and Robotnik picks him up with Scratch using the construction claw. Why do they have to give Grounder a stereotypical British accent and voice, and change his design a little with a monocle, just because he's smarter now? That's really patronizing of the audience. Plus, this idea was already... Well, I guess this did it before SpongeBob. This probably did it better, too, because of the action series thing. He comes up with a plan that Robotnik agrees to, and Yacker says that the Badniks took his genius chip. He says that he's a stupid chip to make Eggman half as smart, and Scratch angrily scrubs the floor while Grounder plays the organ and insists on Scratch calling him Mister. Why would Grounder being smart cause him to order Scratch around? Would that really be smart since he would just create resentment? That's a total change of personality. He presses a button to make Scratch jackhammer to the floor, as I wonder why Eggman let Grounder have a piano when he's a robot of his. Yacker hacks into a computer and is able to see Scratch. Sonic shows up to Scratch with a disguise he shouldn't have and fools him somehow. Grounder better. Okay, he presses a button and transforms Sonic into stone with a new petrifying ray. I guess that means he wasn't fooled by a stupid disguise for a change. Thank you! Robotnik is impressed by Grounder doing this, and Tails wants to save Sonic, but Yakko is a coward who wants to stay here and monitor things. Okay then, Porker. Good, he goes after Tails anyways. Grounder predicts that Sonic's friends will come to rescue, and Robotnik is proud of him. Why didn't he program Grounder to do this earlier? Grounder says he wants to be Robotnik's partner. Well, so much for him being made smarter. He should have known Robotnik wouldn't want to agree to that. Wouldn't he just pound him into the ground for even suggesting it? Surprisingly, he was smart enough to disconnect his off switch and replace it with an electricity thing, electrocuting Robotnik. Grounder convinces Scratch to throw Robotnik because Robotnik made him Grounder's lackey, and thus Robotnik was implying he would want him to do whatever Grounder says, even though he clearly doesn't. Some stupidly ridiculous visual humor happens as Robotnik, a mere human, is formed into a ball for Scratch to swat around. And this is gonna happen again. Wouldn't that kill him? I guess Grounder being smarter caused him to want to bully Robotnik since Robotnik is evil, so he figured out that he's evil. Grounder is smart enough to realize he can rule Mobius by himself, and he also realizes that Robotnik doesn't really care about him since he remembers all of the insults he was given by him.
No doubt that's why you referred to me as scrap metal, breakaway bumpkin, and oh yes, the world's largest paperweight! Throw him in the dungeon!
I wish Grounder was the main villain for the rest of the show. He's such a better character this way. Robotnik is thrown in a dungeon with Scratch, but Robotnik tries to manipulate Scratch, telling him he'll grant him anything he desires if he frees him, and he's always been his favorite. Impressively though, Scratch throws Robotnik down the stairs anyways. This would have made sense if he was given an intelligence chip too, at least a minor one. Robotnik teases Sonic, and Tails and Yacker show up behind a barred window. Yacker hacks from a distance to make the laser gun start shooting, causing Robotnik to fall down the stairs and Sonic to be brought back to normal. Or at least, his head anyways. Oh, never mind, he breaks out the statue body just fine. So why isn't Yacker a freedom fighter for the rest of the show? In every episode? Sure, he's scared of the action, but Tails can drag him along anyways. Grounder reads a book, but then he tells Sonic that being smarter let him predict Sonic's escape. So he built a lightning rod that causes lightning, shooting it out. It makes sense that he would predict Sonic's escape because he always escapes and the show is so predictable. The lightning shoots a bunch of stuff, and the noise causes Scratch to feel like Grounder thinks he's too dumb to be of any help since he hasn't been doing anything but menial tasks during an attack. So he wants to go help. Sonic gives Grounder something in a disguise he shouldn't have. He immediately figures out it has horns that attract lightning and dynamite on it. But Scratch ends up wrecking Grounder because he couldn't predict that Scratch would actually show up to help. Which is weird because Scratch does try to help most of the time, he just sucks at it. That's what huh? Sonic replaces the smart chip with the stupid chip, causing Eggman to become dumb, complete with a stupid voice. The implication is that the villains got blown up or lightning struck them, and yet somehow they're fine, as they're sent into the sky uninjured. I guess they'll also somehow be fine when they land, too. Why did Robotnik go back to normal? Oh, I guess he only had his intelligence or stupid chip in his helmet and it got blown off. But there's no reason he couldn't use his genius to put the microchips in his brain with nanobots or something. Then nothing would be able to get rid of them. That's just common sense. That's what I assumed he'd do. Oh right, the Sonic says is about becoming smart for real. It's so forgettable. I love this episode because for once I had a villain be smart. And honestly, I don't even mean that smart. Grounder was just using basic common sense that one of the audience would have probably used. He wasn't fooled by Sonic's disguises, which he never should have been in the first place. He takes the no-nonsense nemesis approach by petrifying Sonic right away, and he intimidates Robotnik with a machine and figures out that he doesn't need him. Logically, he would have killed him after that, not wasted resources on keeping him alive as a prisoner who doesn't even seem sadistic, but that would have been too anticlimactic of a victory over Robotnik. Everything he did was just basic common sense that any fan would have thought of too. This is how I would expect the villain to act against Sonic after all of that experience with him. All it did was make me wish smart Grounder stayed that way for the rest of the show and replaced Robotnik, or at least became a major secondary villain to him, or at least make Robotnik become that smart. but Grounder's new and refreshing. I don't understand why being smart would make Grounder become a control freak, look different, and sound different though. Other than stupid meta logic, oh, the audience won't get that he's smart if we don't make it painfully obvious. Never mind his smart plans. Also, once again, the show goes to desperate lengths to keep Tails from being smart and useful. The only thing useful he did was force a nerd out of nowhere to come save Sonic with bullshit hacking powers that he should have. And I'm willing to bet Yacker won't be back for future episodes constantly. Which is just stupid. What, did he die? Why wouldn't he be taken advantage of more? The show is basically admitting that it needs a Porker or Rotor or Tails to be an engineer. But instead of manning up and doing that and admitting that it was portraying Tails wrong the whole time, it introduces new characters out of nowhere and then drops them. That's so aimless. The whole plot never should have happened because Robotnik had no reason to think he would need to become smarter. It would have been a lot better if he had intentionally made Grounder smart to be useful to him finally, instead of him becoming smart because of an unbelievable screw-up.
And when I'm 1,000 times smarter than I am right now, maybe, just maybe, I'll figure out some use for you.